Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to GM Games. My name is Coach Fury and we are back today with our Let's Play series of the Phoenix Suns. The sun's rising, as you've probably seen from the image that's loaded with this. We're seeing whether we can bring some success to the 2004 and 2005 Phoenix Suns team. And we started the first episode pretty well actually. The second time ever I think won the opening game of the season. That was a shock, but it was good to see considering that this team is a team that in real life won 62 games in the season. So fingers crossed that we have some sort of success like that, and we can take that one step further and win a championship for this team. Not a lot else to report on. We haven't made much movement apart from that. We've just played the first game of the season, and we did manage to find Meta World Peace in free agency, which is going to prove, I think, to be a valuable pickup considering our rotation is pretty thin outside the starting five. But today we're going to just, pretty straightforward sim, we're going to just go through, maybe put some guys on the trade block just to see if we get some offers. And then we're going to probably sim through a couple of weeks. I've got a couple of key games that I think will be worth us watching, just because it'll be interesting, either because they've got some interesting players or because I expect them to probably be up there at the end of the season. So first thing I think is let's go over to the trade screen and let's think about who we want to put on this trade block, because I've come to the conclusion I think the reason why this Phoenix Suns team didn't win in the end was because they have a fantastic starting five, but outside of that they don't quite have the pieces that you want for this style of play. So we've got our starting five, which is Johnson, Nash, Stoudemire, Marion and Richardson, and then we've managed to pick up Meta World Peace, as I said, which is proving invaluable to cover those sort of wing position areas of the team. But for me, I think there's issues in terms of the front court. If Marion or Stoudemire was to go down with a long-term injury, then we've got a whole host of problems we've got to try and address. And we don't have anyone really who can come in there and give us the right style of play. I mean, we've got Stephen Hunter, who is a 7-foot old style centre, which is fine. He can play cover minutes, which is what he's doing, but he's not going to give us, we want our bench to come on and provide that extra oomph. Same with Bo Outlaw and Vushko. I mean, they're old traditional style centres, and I'm pretty open to moving both of them because I don't think they quite fit. I want a stretch forward, to be honest with you. I need another stretch four who can come in and just give a bit of cover there and a bit of shooting, because the way this 7-second offense works in the game really is that you end up with a lot of the forward positions playing outside of the 3-point line, and we need guys with range there. If they don't have range there, the opposition is just not going to mark them and happily and chuck up as much as they want. I mean, we'll put Paul Shirley on the block. We don't necessarily need him. I want to keep Barbosa because I think he was quite a key cultural piece for this Suns team. He's going to play some minutes. Jim Jackson, you can go though. So that's how we're going to put it. I think we'll put these guys on the block. We'll see if we get any trade offers. We've obviously got our first round pick we can play with later on towards the trade deadline if we see anything available. But for now, that's what we're going to do. And yeah, we're going to sim through a little bit. I want to get to the 30th of October because there's a really interesting game here against the 76ers, the Allen Iverson 76ers. So I want to get to that point and see how we get on in between then. So we're going to sim until that point. We'll obviously stop if there's injuries or stop on action emails because we might have to make rotation adjustments, but I'm pretty comfortable where we are apart from that. So let's see how we get on. And the first game, you can see here the pop-up, the career milestones appear, so I mentioned last episode, and also the wins and losses appear. So it looks like we've gone on a bit of a winning streak to begin with, and we've hit an injury about 5 games in. So who is injured? Okay, so Joe Johnson is out for 1 day with back spasms, which means he's not going to be able to play. So we're going to store this lineup, and then we're going to move Johnson. We'll put Meta World Peace in and then we'll just move everyone up in the rotation a little bit. I think for now, put him down the bottom here, and we'll get the AI to adjust that. Yeah, that's fine. So Meta World Peace is just going to come in and play those minutes. As you can see, we are playing our starters heavy minutes because I'm not comfortable with this bench rotation. I just really don't think it's good enough to come in and give us 20-25 minutes of play. So we'll sim that one game, which we're up against the Warriors. Oof, we suffer our first loss of the season there. No surprise really, considering we had to adjust our rotation and we didn't have the bench really. We'll restore the lineup. We will obviously put Johnson back in and Meta World Peace. I really wish, one of the things they should think about with future versions is when you go restore lineup, we should readjust them in the order here. It's a bit fiddly just to have to keep doing this. So we'll just quickly tweak this around. And I believe that was roughly where we were. Yeah, and we'll go back to seeing if we've only got a couple more days, so we'll manually click until we get to that 76ers game, which is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how this 76ers team even looks. So we've got a game against the Grizzlies on the 28th. Can we get back to winning ways? We can. We are back to 5-1. Oh, we've got the Spurs. The Spurs are 1-4. Oh my god, that's crazy. Lakers are 0-5. Okay, we might have to do a bit of a stock take at the end of this month and just see where teams are fitting, because obviously they're not performing as well I thought they would. So the 76ers are 3-2, and we are 5-1. We're going to watch this game. I will quickly do a save though in case there's any crashes. But yeah, let's see how we get on. We've got our full rotation in. We are obviously going to let the AI do that. So interesting there, they're playing. That's really weird. That's probably why they're 3-2. They're playing Kyle Korver at the point guard position. Allen Iverson's playing shooting guard. Okay, interesting decision there. I mean, I would have put Iverson at point guard and Korver at shooting guard, but I guess must be something to do with Iverson's pass rating, maybe. Yeah, no surprise from us for our starting lineup. One of the things that I didn't actually point out in the last episode, that I think is really good, is if you do get this game, seriously go and get the NBA mod for it for the modern era, because it adds these logos, but it also adds the player photos for players in that era. I mean, obviously players who have now retired, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Marion, etc. We won't get their photos, but you'll get the occasional photos of players who are still in the league, which is just great. I mean, when you actually do play it in the modern era, you see all the player photos, and my god, it makes the game feel just like a real immersive experience now. So I do recommend that. Right, let's go to the tip-off. We will speed up, and as usual, if we comes a close game, we will slow it back down. But we are at home against the 76ers. Let's see if we can pull up another statement game against a team that I personally expect the 76ers to be in the playoff hunt this year, regardless of the fact they're 3-2. Just because Allen Iverson and Iguodala are just two great players, and Korver's a really good shooter. Maybe they'll struggle a little bit because of the way they've put Korver at point guard, but we'll see. Looks like we've taken out a bit of an early lead here against the 76ers, but they are pegging us back, and they have pegged us back, and they have now taken the lead. Just as soon as I speak, that happens. So interesting that Iguodala hasn't taken a single shot yet. Iverson's 1 of 4. On our side, it looks like Stoudemire is out at the moment in the rotation. I'm not sure if that's injury or fouls or what, but Hunter has had to come in. Meta World Peace is in, Richardson's in, Nash is shooting okay. He's already got 6 assists already, and we're not even in the end of the first quarter, which is just madness. Barbosa has come in now to give him a bit of a respite, and the game is now pretty much neck and neck. 4 points in it, a couple points in it. We are shooting actually surprisingly really well now. We are shooting 54% against this 76ers team. 3 of 6 from downtown as well. So our outside shooting is paying dividends at the moment, which is one of the strengths of this team. I think that's one of the things that I would look to try and address, is that if I can get a point guard in, ideally what I want is a bench point guard who can play about 8 minutes. That is literally it. Who can shoot from outside and provide a bit of handling so we don't turn the ball over. That is literally the only requirement I have for a point guard for this team. As I said, I also kind of want to get a stretch four in there. I'm not worried about whether he can rebound or play defense. It's just someone who can shoot, because the positioning of the power forward in by the corners is so vital. And we end the second quarter and we end the half with a 6-point lead here. Interesting, Stoudemire obviously got in foul trouble. That's why he had to come out in 10 minutes. He's having a bit of a ding-dong battle against the likes of D'Alembert, it looks like. But Meta World Peace is providing invaluable from the bench there. Look at that, 16 points, 7 of 11. Providing a real solid pickup for us. Sean Marion's having a good shooting night. Steve Nash is not having a great night, actually. He's 2 of 6. He can't hit a three-pointer. He's had 4 turnovers, so he's being pressured quite a lot, I'm guessing, by the likes of Iverson, who's already got 3 steals on the night. But yeah, we go into the second half here, up by 6, to see whether we can hold on and take this lead away with us. 76ers have come out quite strong to begin with, though. 4 points back in it, 2 points back in it now. Looking to try and bring this game back in hand. And we managing to keep them just at bay at this point in time. But Iverson is now hit 21 points. He's back trying to make a statement. For those of you who followed any of my Let's Play series with the 76ers, playing against 76ers with the Utah Jazz, you'll know how much of a pain the 76ers always tend to be in my Let's Play series. So it'd be nice to get a win against them here. Iverson having a pretty poor shooting night, 5 of 13 now at this point. Not really helping his team. He's trying to put him on his back, but he's hitting some bad shots, it looks like. As we come to the end of the third quarter, we are up by about 5 here. Looks like we are pretty comfortable. Our shooting numbers have been really good. 6 of 10, 55% from field goal range. As the bench looks like it's come in here to provide a bit of relief for our starters. Looks like we are taking a pretty commanding lead in this one. Up by 8 now at this point. And the 76ers bench has come in. So it's bench versus bench here. It's a good test for us. Jim Johnson has not hit a shot all night, it looks like. And Amari Stoudemire, for those of you who just saw that, has hit 30 points for us tonight. No, he's not hit 30 points. He's hit 20 points for us tonight. So you may have seen that pop-up come up, which kind of just shows some of the score, some of the key things in the game, really. As we come towards the end of this game, I think it's a blowout at this point. The starters have come out, the bench is in, we are in garbage minutes now. Comfortable win here over the 76ers in the end. Unfortunately, Allen Iverson could not get it done tonight. The Phoenix Suns have put down another statement game against one of the Eastern Conference's playoff teams. But the turnovers have been insane. Look at that. 25 turnovers and 27 turnovers. We had 22 steals in this game. Neither team wanted to hold on to the ball, it looks like, in this one. So yeah, a bit of a crazy one in terms of that. But good to see. We hit some good shots. We're 8 of 13 from 3-point range. Pretty good night for us, really. Our fast break points were 34. Look at that. That's the pace we're playing at. Getting up and down that court. Meta World Peace for player of the game off the bench. Look at that, 25 points. Having a great night for us there as we managed to win that one. So we're going to move ahead to another week here because there's another game that's coming up against the LA Lakers, which I might not actually sim if they're doing so poorly. But perhaps we'll just go forward until the end of this month, and then we'll have a little look at probably the ranking poll, look at the standings a little bit. And then we might move actually a bit further forward until there's a Houston Rockets game that I was interested in looking at. But we'll see. We'll just see how the standings are looking at this point at the end of the month. So we've ended the month. Let's go to the league media. Let's have a little look at the polls and power rankings and see how we're doing. So we are currently ranked 5th in the power rankings. We have dropped down from, it looks like number 3 last week. Dropped down 2 places. Golden State Warriors, look at that team that I said in the first episode I didn't think would be a real threat to anyone with Baron Davis, a number 1 in the rankings. The 7-0 offensive rating's been insane. They are certainly looking like they had a strong start. The Kings have come back after their opening day loss to us, jumping 11 places from 14 with a 5-2 record now. The Nets are up there as well, and the Wizards. But yeah, surprising stats here. So the Pistons are 3-5, which I thought they would be in a bit better shape, but they're obviously not. Who else have we got here? Mavericks are doing Maverick things. The Heat are looking okay, although they're 3-4 in terms of rankings. Let's just go and have a little look at the standings. Let's look by conference. So in terms of our conference, it looks like as if we are currently ranked second, of course, beyond the Golden State Warriors we talked about. But there's some teams that are struggling that I thought would be doing better. Got the Spurs are 2-5, Lakers are 2-5. Yeah, those are the two that I'd probably expect to be higher. Rockets are okay. But yeah, in terms of, look at this, the Pistons are down there, the Heat are down there. Two teams I thought would be up there. I didn't expect the Nets to be so high. And the Charlotte Hornets, who on earth is on that Charlotte Hornets team? Let's go to roster, it's probably easier to see. No, that's staff. Go to roster. Okay. So they've got Brevin Knight. Interesting. He's having a pretty stonking year actually. 24 points per game. That's insane. Gerald Wallace is there. Okay. So young Gerald Wallace. He's doing okay. He's putting up some solid numbers. Okafor. Yeah. Not really anyone that I would say it must be a real team effort from this roster. Brevin Knight must be leading them in terms of points though. That's interesting. Not particularly that efficient with it, but he's just taking the scoring load. He is a defender and an attacker. Passing and handling is really good though. Pretty solid point guard actually. Okay. So we are ranked second in our conference. We are fifth in the power rankings. Let's move on then. I want to get to the Houston game, which I think, if I remember, was it the second? No, that's the Heat game. Maybe it's the 2nd of December. Yeah. So let's move to the 2nd of December. Let's just sim. We'll sim to that date. Yeah, we will sim to the 2nd of December. Obviously, injuries and things we will adjust if we get any action emails. But let's just pass our way through. We lost to Miami there. Tough loss that one, just by 6. Then bounced back with win against Brooklyn. That's good. And now we lost to the Lakers. That was the game we was going to stop them. And beat the Atlanta Hawks, not the Atlanta Falcons. Wrong sport, Coach Fury. Beat the Boston, lost to Sacramento. They're getting their revenge up against us. Then beat the New Orleans Pelicans, 10-4 now. Bit of bouncing around this month. It looks like we're winning, loss. We then beat Denver, and then beat Washington. So we are 12-5. Still looking pretty strong. And beat Dallas. Stoudemire there with 30 points. Lost to Charlotte, that team we just talked about. Struggled there. Beat Orlando. See, there's some interesting career milestones coming up. Allen Iverson, 15,000 points there as well. But yeah, we are here. We are up against the 15-6 Rockets as well, who've improved their record. So let's end this episode. Let's go in and let's watch this game. And we'll just double check the depth chart is okay. There's no injuries. That is the wrong team, Coach Fury. Go back to the team you actually are. No, there's no injuries. Yabusi has a probable back. We might actually just bring in a point guard then quickly just to fill those minutes. Let's quickly have a little look. Is there any point guard that is half decent? So I think we talked about Corey Alexander last time, didn't we? I think we'll just bring Corey Alexander. He's an outside shooter. We'll sign you to a regular contract. And we'll just, in the depth chart, we will just move you up for Yabusi's minute of garbage time minutes, basically. Where are you? There you are. Just so that we don't have any issues there. Similar type of player, outside shooter, gonna play garbage minutes, nothing else. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's go and watch us up against the Houston Rockets. We'll do a quick save, of course. See how we do against the Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Houston Rockets. Obviously go to AI control. Both 15-6. Bobby Sura against Steve Nash, Joe Johnson McGrady. That's going to be a fun battle. See whether Joe Johnson can hang it with Tracy McGrady, probably one of the greatest scorers of all time. Marion against Howard, Ming against Stoudemire. That's going to be a fun battle to watch as well. But yeah, without doubt, let's go to it. Let's get to the tip-off and see how we get on. We are on the road. It's a tough place to go to Houston. See whether we can get it done. But this is it's another team that is obviously going to probably be in the playoffs, and we may end up facing. So it's a good little early test for us here. See whether we can pinch one on the road against them, as it looks like Houston taking a little bit of a lead here against us in this first quarter. Steve Nash though, 2 of 2 already. Stoudemire, 1 of 3. Stoudemire against Yao Ming is really interesting because he's got Yao Ming and he's also got to play DK Mutombo as well in that position. Two, really tall, strong centre players. See whether he can not get himself in foul trouble really. Can actually put a bit of an offensive threat against them and maybe cause them into foul trouble. It's pretty neck and neck though as we end this first quarter. Just down by a couple. As we peg them back just as we get to the end of that quarter. We are moving forward now into the second quarter. Back and forth. I have to say the Rockets have held the lead most of the time here. Met a world pace for another crazy game. Look at that, 7-9, 14 points. Really making an argument actually that he needs to go into the starting lineup over Quentin Richardson, to be honest. But I quite like having him off the bench because he does go against the other bench units and he gives us that extra scoring boom, which is why I think he's been so effective really. But we have stretched out a nice commanding lead here in this second quarter. No thanks, thanks to Meta World Peace really, coming in and providing some crazy scoring for us. And we are comfortably ahead here at this point as we go down to the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Steve Nash having a really good night. Wet and World Peace, they're hitting 20 points for us as well. As we end the second quarter and the half, we have taken a resounding 19-point lead over the Houston Rockets. McGrady having a good night actually, 6 of 12. But nobody else is really providing any help for him. For us, Steve Nash has been pretty effective as he has been for a little while. He's actually shooting pretty well from downtown as well. We've only hit 6 shots from 3-point range, which is surprising considering we are playing, predominantly looking for those sort of range shots. Meta World Peace is at an insane performance for the bench though. And Stoudemire has managed to avoid foul trouble, and put up a few points for us. As we head into the second half here, Meta World Peace has certainly been the difference maker. Who would have thought that from a free agency pickup for a minimum contract that he would have come in and made such an impact for us? Really providing some great scoring for us. But we are now comfortably 20 points ahead or so. The pressure is all on the Rockets now to see whether they can bring us back against whilst they're at home, see whether they can, at least force a game out of this one. But it looks like we are pretty comfortable at this stage. We're now midway through the third quarter. Not really much threat against us. We are shooting fantastically well again, actually. 55%, 4 of 9 from downtown as well. And Steve Nash has now put up 20 points. You may have seen that pop up. He's now double-double as well. He's 20 and 10. Really providing some MVP-like performances for us. If he can do that for every single game, I would be delighted. But yeah, it looks like this one's going to be another comfortable win for us to end this episode on. 20 points ahead now into the fourth quarter. The bench has come in, it looks like, for us now. Meta World Peace is in there as well by that bit of scoring punch. McGrady's had a good night. 6 of 14 is not too bad. It looks like Yao Ming has not really helped support him though. They have been struggling. Bobby Sir has tried his best, to be honest with you, whilst he's been playing multiple positions, putting up 15 points, but hasn't been quite enough for them. But it looks like Stoudemire is now double-double as well, 10 and 10. Meta World Peace, 22 points. Steve Nash, 25 and 10, which is just crazy. And 7 rebounds. He might get a triple-double before this ends, if we're lucky here. Might be the first triple-double we ever have from a team member, actually. But no, it looks like we're comfortable with this one. We've held them to 79 points. We have scored very efficiently. 6 of 21 now, though, actually. We've had to chuck up a few towards the end there. But we managed to take a 15-point win over the Houston Rockets to end this game. And yep, no surprise, Steve Nash player of the game, 25, 10 and 7. A block and 2 steals is just crazy. Yeah, a good statement performance there against a team that was similar record to us. Keeps us in that playoff hunt, keeps us at the top of the Western Conference. Before we go into the next episode, where we'll probably get ourselves through to the trade deadline, probably look at some trades, maybe look into the All-Star break, and outlook for the rest of the season. But yeah, so far so good for us and the Phoenix Suns. Looking good record, performing pretty well. Still worried about that depth from the rotation though. If we do get injuries to that starting five.